Welcome to the How to Play video for Outbreak on Hypatia. This video will give you an overview of how to play the game. The game is basically split into two phases that alternate. There's the Phage Phase. The phage is the alien fungus that's trying to take over the ship. During the Phage Phase, it'll be placing these phage cards out into the various stations of the ship, trying to hamper you in your efforts. Then there's the human phase, where you get to play your cards to hopefully do the things that you need to survive and eventually win the game. These two phases alternate back and forth, starting with the phage phase until the game is over. So first let's go over the phage phase. During the phage phase, you'll be placing these phage cards out onto the various stations that are out on the field. Each phage phase, you start by drawing 3 phage cards. These are going to be placed face down on various stations. But how do we know which station to put each card on? Well, you do that by drawing another phage card, one for each of these cards that you're going to place. As you can see, each phage card has a 3x3 matrix that corresponds to the 3x3 matrix that we laid out during setup. So in this case, the bottom middle cell of the 3x3 matrix is the one that's infested. So that's where we take a phage card and place it face down. We have to place another one, so here we go. So this one, it's the middle right. So we take that and place it on the middle right. See? And then we have one more. Ooh, an eruption card. Eruption cards are special. See how it says plus phage? What that means is you're going to be placing an extra phage this round. So let's continue placing them. We need to draw another one of these. Upper left. And bottom. Center. Oops, don't look at it. So this turn we placed 1, 2, 3, 4 because we had an eruption. And that's basically how the phage phase works. If there were 5 cards, a total of 5, between phage and human cards at any of these stations, it would resolve. We'll talk about that later. But once you're done placing the phage cards, it goes on to the human's turn. Now let's talk about the human's turn. The human's turn is pretty simple. All you do is play a card. You have a deck of human cards that you'll be drawing from, and you start with a hand of 5, and what you're going to do is you're just going to pick a card. Now there are 3 ways you can play any given card. You can play them to one of the tricks. You can play them directly into a station, just like these phage cards are, to basically compete to take a trick. You can play them by discarding them, which is called a tower action. And what happens for that depends on what suit they are. As you can see, there's operations, engineers, science, and security officers, depending on what their suit is. And their power, when discarded instead of played, depends on these cards over here. You can see that these each have a suit on them. So the effects listed on this card is the benefit that you'll get if you discard the card to the command tower instead of playing it to one of the stations. For instance, let's see, what's a good one? Oh, the security. So suppose we wanted to discard the security guard. Well, discard or destroy. Where is it? Here it is. Flamethrower. So we're still gathering parts for the flamethrowers. So you may destroy a security officer to discard a Phage card from any station. So if something bad was about to happen, like for instance, if there was a Phage here and I knew that I didn't want it to resolve, I could kill this security guard and discard that card. Obviously, we wouldn't want to do that now because we're not in danger yet. But each of these card types have their own special power that they can take advantage of by either discarding or destroying them, depending on what these 4 cards say. The other thing that these cards can do is they can be stationed at one of the stations. Then they become what's called a Sentinel. Each card has a Sentinel action printed on them. Like for instance, science officers can be placed at stations, and they're going to monitor that station. And when there's a Sentinel, you place them sideways like this above the station. And this particular, the science officers, they reveal all Phage as they enter the station. So normally, Phage are played face down, but if you have a science officer on call there, then when a Phage gets played to that, instead of being placed face down, they'd be placed face up so you can see what they are. This is helpful for knowing whether you're going to lose the trick or not. And again, each suit has their own special Sentinel action. And of course, the key to winning the game is to cleverly and strategically use these Sentinel actions, tower actions, and just knowing when to just fight for different tricks to be taken. So on your turn, you just play one card. You can play it as a Sentinel. You can play it as a tower action, or you can just add it to a location and compete for the trick. So let's go ahead and play a card and end our turn. So I'm going to play this card there as a normal card, and then it's the end of my turn. So at the end of your turn, you can choose to discard one of your cards if you want, or you can hold on to the cards that you have. Let's say I'll discard that. And then at the end of your turn, you just draw back up to 5 cards. If there are no more cards left to draw from, you take the discard pile, reshuffle it, and make a new draw pile. And then that's the end of the human's turn, and then it goes back to the Phage turn. So let's talk about trick-taking. Trick-taking is a little more dangerous in Outbreak on Hypatia than it is in a normal trick-taking game. That's because the aliens are trying to basically kill you before you have a chance to see who wins the trick. So let's say that it's our turn, and I take a card and I decide to vie for this trick over here, the oxygen scrubbers. I'm worried that the Phage is going to shut down our oxygen supply, so I'm going to try and defeat the Phage. So I place this here. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards at this station, so we have to resolve it. When you resolve a trick, first you flip over all the Phage cards, and then you check the suit of the trick. The oxygen scrubbers are a high diamond, so its suit is a diamond. For every diamond Phage card, and here's one, they're going to kill a human before you do any comparisons at all. So right now, looks like there's only one, so I only have to kill one of my humans. If there were 2 of those, I'd have to kill both of them and then they'd win. But so this guy kills one of my 2. Since this is a diamond, I'm going to kill this guy because that way this one can still compete for this trick. Once all the humans have been killed, then you check to see which side has the best card for the criteria for the trick. So in this case, we have a high diamond. So if the humans have the highest diamond, then they win the trick. If the Phage have the highest diamond, then they win the trick. If neither side has a diamond, then nothing happens and all cards are discarded. So in this case, since it's a high diamond, I have a 10 of diamonds and a 2 of diamonds. So this engineer manages to keep the oxygen scrubbers from failing. So each trick has a win and a lose condition. If the humans win the trick, then you get the benefit of the win condition. If the Phage win the trick, then you get the penalty of the lose condition. In this case, if we had lost, then we would have had to flip the ample oxygen supply over to oxygen scarce, and then people would start dying. So it's a good thing we didn't lose that. Now you have to be careful because sometimes, suppose instead of that card, there was an eruption card. Eruption cards are particularly deadly, just like they are when placing Phage. They're also deadly when they get turned up for trick taking. Before anything else happens, these eruption cards kill off one character. So if we had this, when this happened, this would kill off a character regardless of what suit it is. So this guy would have died. And then this, because it matches the diamond, would have killed her. Then the Phage would have won the trick, and we would have had the lose condition, and this oxygen supply would have gone to oxygen scarce, which is what the lose condition of that trick is. Either way, once the trick is done, all of the cards are discarded. So the Phage cards go to the Phage discard. The human cards go to the human command tower discard, unless they've been killed, in which case they've been removed from the game. So let's talk a bit about the object of the game. The object of the game is to destroy the Phage entirely by setting the self-destruct sequence of the ship. You can arm the self-destruct sequence, and then getting your humans to the hangar, power up the hangar using the power plant, power up the hangar, get your humans here, win tricks here to get the humans off of the spaceship and placed on the rescued card. At the end of the game, your score is how many humans escaped alive. In order to win the game, you have to successfully set the self-destruct sequence and blow up the ship, taking all the Phage with it. And then your score is how many people get off. You can lose the game, however. If the Phage win a trick at the hangar when the hangar is powered up, then they have managed to get onto one of the lifeboats, and they will spread throughout the galaxy, and it will be the end of humanity as we know it. So you should try to avoid that from happening.